A few months ago, Philippine Realty TV's executive producer, John Aguilar, met with Jason Buensalido and his team, Buensalido Architects, to discuss initial design plans for building a smart home, specifically made to adapt to the many obstacles our country's weather so often brings.
Okay, Jason, for Project Smart Homes here in Marikina, the intention for us is really to be able to come up with a house that will be able to adapt to the flooding that will be happening in that area in the future.
Okay.
And one of the things that we discovered going around Marikina is that residents in general were trying to find ways to be able to build either higher or have some sort of escape mechanism.
I think all of those things are valid, and we have to take them into consideration. But I think the first one that we have to address is the supply of water.
Okay.
Because a lot of people were stuck in their houses. They have water all over there. It's basically flooded, but they didn't have water to consume. Second is communication. They were stuck and they couldn't communicate with anyone and ask for somebody else to save them. And I think the most important is access, because they couldn't be saved because there was no access to simply where they were. So we have to provide some sort of escape.
Yeah.
Whether it's just to get from room to room or to get out of the place where you're stuck in.
Okay. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
With a project defined and the objective set, it was up to Buensalido Architects to continue and bring the vision to life.
We really drew inspiration from, I guess, the people who were affected during all of these storms. And we really, I guess, drew inspiration from them in the sense that we wanted to come up with an authentic solution that works without them having to, migrate. Because for a lot of people, they don't have a choice. It's our job as architects to come up with a smartly designed house, with a house that responds to the climate, that moves with it, that adapts, to sort of come up with a better kind of life for all of these affected people. So that was really where we drew our inspiration from.
After several weeks of designing, drafts changed and new design solutions attempted. John returned to the office of Buensalido Architects for the presentation of the final design of Project Smart Home Marikina.
We basically wanted us to come up with a 5-door, 2 or 3-story apartments, a 3-bedroom townhouse with 1-car garage, possibly 2 if the space allows. Our concept is amphibious living. We're trying to mirror the characteristics of the subject, in this case, the floods, to attain a kind of seamless functional transition. So instead of fighting against the flood, you're actually getting its characteristics and trying to design your house to adapt to it by kind of mirroring it or copying. It's the way it moves, the way it behaves. The first thing is we plotted the flood level in the area, which is about 8 feet. The flood level basically eats up the entire first floor. And so the first thing that we did is we raised the entire house, to be sort of on stilts, just like the Bahay Kubo. I think the most unique idea that we came up with are what we chose to call rafts, or regenerative, amphibious, floating terraces. And they're essentially floating rafts. So it's essentially balconies that can float and can be detached. So you're never caught at a moment where you're stuck in your own house. Even one of the carports can actually be converted into a sort of raft, which can also, float during flood.
Wow, you've got to be kidding me.
No.
It's gonna float. The car will float.
Yeah, that's the intent. And we have calculations to support that.
For the floating garage, we intend to use barrels that has the capacity to carry 435.6 pounds to be exact.
More or less, engineer, how many drums would it take to float a standard car, maybe an SUV at most?
For a SUV that weighs 5,500 pounds, we need at least 48 drums to make it afloat during the flood.
Okay.
This is an aerial view of the ground floor. This is essentially your open space or silong, so you can have parties there. And then you just have a basic access, so you have your front foyer, which leads to the staircase going up. Which leads us now to the second floor of the space. We switched the private function, which are basically the bedrooms from the upper floors to the lower floors. This is the third floor of the house. It's essentially one big open space. You have your living area, your dining, and your kitchen, and the small powder room. And it's just one contiguous space. Again, allowing people or the family to interact with each other.
And that it makes sense also because most of your appliances, your ref, your food, they're on the third floor.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's all. And
Safe.
your supplies, that's all safe.
Yeah, all safe. But above the third floor, we propose that there still be a roof deck.
Okay.
So it's essentially a fourth floor / roof deck, right? And this is your stairwell access, and what it does is it becomes the escape for hot air also. So it's not only access, but it allows stack effect to happen. And again, it's one big space wherein you can possibly put your rainwater harvesting tanks. You can have a small storage for emergency supplies, and things like that, just to make sure that in the event of a flood, you have everything that you need.
Congratulations! I
Thank
love
you.
the design. I think it's something that a lot of people can learn a lot from, and something that well, I'm really looking forward to building with you and your team.
We're excited to build it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Jason, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The reason why I like the project so much, right, is because I think it's going to make a very significant social impact with the way we design our houses, not only for the Marikina area, but in all throughout our country in general, because this is basically showing the people that, hey, there is a better way to design our houses. I think there's hope. There's a certain sense of aspiration that is instilled in us Filipinos that, hey, we can rise above it.